of 2 circuits each for the drivers, first in the 205 and then in the Lancia Delta. Kankkunen up to the line, a very personable young man, very calm and efficient driver, twice world champion. And this is the 205 that he won the world championship in first time out. The in-car camera there with a view of the driver's feet as he shoots away from the line. French technicians have been working hard all day to get that camera installed into both the 205 and the Lancia Delta. With a bit of luck, we'll see some excellent pictures of the efficiency of Kankkunen's feet, and Salonen too. Heel and toe as he rips through the gears, way down onto the greasy part of the circuit, that bit of gravel and then the tarmac. Picture just breaking up a touch there. A bit of interference, but fascinating stuff all the same. How a top-class driver actually works not just with his head steering wheel but also with his feet to get maximum power and efficiency out of this car. Onto the brake, slides the right foot onto the gas as well. Keeps the revs up. He just goes through that twiddly part of the circuit and over that jump. Kankkunen on his way, and nasty bit of interference with the in-car camera. A bit hard to judge just how much interference you're going to get when a car is hurtling around a circuit at these sort of speeds and with these sort of revs. Kankkunen really trying on this one. Experienced an excellent year with Peugeot back in 1986, the year that he won the World Championship. Shot of him as he spins the steering wheel through that bit of the hairpin. Hannu Mikkola decides that he's seen enough. He's eliminated at an early stage and leaves this straight fight, Kankkunen against Salonen, for the title of champion. Kankkunen well into his second circuit now in the 205 and heading for a decent time too. Hear the engine screaming as he comes down that bit of the straight, and then he brakes for that left-hander. Bark from a turbo. Over the jump, gets the wheels on the ground as quickly as he possibly can so that he can accelerate away. And believe it or not, this car was clean when it went out on its first circuit. Coming up, would estimate that somewhere around about 3:42, 3:43 would be a good time in the 205. Kankkunen's well on course for that. Another shot from that in-car camera. See how hard they have to work just to get these cars to perform around this short but very tricky circuit. Now then, this is the standard which Salonen has at least got to match in the 205, 3:41.98. And I would estimate that that is probably a second or 2 seconds even inside what would be a standard time in the Peugeot 205 around this track. An excellent time, an excellent standard set by Juha Kankkunen back at the wheel of a Peugeot 205. In a second or two we'll be seeing Timo Salonen, his opponent in this final. They've got not only just to go around in the 205, they've also got to go in the Lancia Delta Integrale. See them here working away on the 205. They'll give Salonen a completely new set of tyres. They'll also have to check the brakes as well, I should think, because they will work pretty hard during that circuit by Kankkunen, as you could see from the camera, which was giving us a view of his feet as they crisscrossed about the pedals. Maximum efficiency from these crews. You see the Spartan inside there of a normal rally car. Shot again of Kankkunen in action. And you can just imagine Kankkunen back at the wheel of this 205, and a great beam of delight, I'm sure, with that time. 3:41.98, 2 circuits the time to beat. Salonen ready and off. Away he goes. Again, the in-car shot of Salonen's feet as he exits the actual tarmac stage and onto the infield of this Monterey circuit. Not quite as clean as Kankkunen was through there. But he won't be far off this time, that's for sure. 3:41.98 is the time to keep in mind. The 2 times of the 205 and the Lancia Delta are added together to give us a winner at the end of the day. Salonen drifting the car through there and onto this straight. Windscreen getting splattered. Salonen really with a bit of a disadvantage, because if Kankkunen's already had 1 circuit in this car, the windscreen and mirrors and so forth tend to be pretty filthy already. Had a lot of time to clean them up. Salonen, years of experience, made his rallying debut back in 1970. So masses of experience to call upon. Took it rather gingerly over there, I felt. Slides it through rather slippery part of the circuit. He's got some twiddly bits here to negotiate, and let's just see how quickly he can get through this tight double hairpin. The 205 is a very sure-footed machine, and Salonen knows it as well as anybody. As he picked his way through there quite neatly. Perhaps not quite as quickly as Kankkunen did. 4-wheel drive, of course, 5-speed gearbox, generating about 430 or so brake horsepower. Bark of the engine and the flash from the turbo as he sets the car up just to go right, then left, and then right again. An excellent driver. He positions the car so well for tight turns. Also reads the road well. The only driver, the only world champion who's worn glasses. Salonen says no disadvantage whatsoever.
163, plus de 160 à l'heure. Lors du bref passage en ligne droite, alors que la voiture est en appui parfait maintenant, dans la longue courbe à droite qui ramène vers l'autoroute. Cette longue courbe qui suit l'anneau.
So Salonen back at the double hairpin, and those turbo flashes may look a bit frightening if you've never seen them before, but no real danger to driver or spectators that this car is going to suddenly burst into flames. It's quite a normal occurrence. As he hurtles back onto the Monterey circuit, he's looking at 3:41.98, which is the time set by Kankkunen. He's already outside that, and in the second stage of this final in the Lancia Delta, he's going to have, well, very nearly 2 seconds to make up. Salonen puts the car into the pits, and there is the Lancia Delta Integrale, the 1988 World Championship winning car, and Juha Kankkunen, 3:41.98 in the 205, is back at the wheel of a Lancia, And of course he won the World Championship in the Lancia in 1987. Away from the line. Break up on the in-car picture there again, but you could see the impression at least of how hard that Kankkunen was working just to keep this Lancia going quickly in a reasonably straight line. Difference in engine note there between the 205 and the Delta, quite apparent. This harsh bark of the 205 and the Delta with that slightly smoother and perhaps more Italian sound if you've got a discerning continental ear. This of course is a turbo car as well, the Lancia Delta. Generating somewhere around about 260 brake horsepower, so down on the Peugeot 205, which was one of the Group B cars which were banned 2 years ago from rallying. This is the rally car which is currently legal in World Championship rallies, Group A car. Was of course a worry at one stage that Group B cars were too powerful for their own good. There were a couple of nasty accidents, notably the one to Henry Toivonen, in whose memory these championships are being staged, when he crashed on Corsica. There's a lot of doubt expressed about the real value of having what were effectively Formula One cars with normal bodywork hurtling round rock-strewn roads, and so they decided that they would restrict power and capacity and make sure that rallying became a bit more of a sensible sport. In effect, what's happened is that the manufacturers have basically decided that the Group A cars will go just as fast as the Group B cars eventually. Now then, Kankkunen into the infield, onto this bit of the circuit. The fairly smooth gravel surface there. Then onto the tarmac. Top left of the picture, you can see him as he rifles through the gearbox. Takes the car onto the little hump there. And again, he's excellent at getting the car over a hump and onto the ground, so that all four wheels are on the ground quickly, and he's in a position to accelerate away. 3:41.98 in the 205. This will be slower than that, simply because this car is just not as powerful. Good view for the spectators on the old Monterey banking at the back of the circuit there. The circuit's still used as a test track by some of the Formula One, Formula 3000 and the sports car teams. Double hairpin approaches now for Kankkunen through the first section. Muddy a second section. Now then, sprint to the finish over the tarmac of the circuit. Neat turn up to the line. 3:53.68 it is. It's almost 12 seconds down on what he set in the 205, but even so that leaves Salonen with quite a task, because by our estimation he will have to do something like 3 minutes 51.87 if the mathematics are correct to win the title. And it looked as though Kankkunen was certainly driving the Lancia virtually on the limit as he went through the back part of the circuit, certainly on the smoother sections. And Timo Salonen straps himself into the car. He will have been told the time that he needs. But will have no real check on it. Into the Delta. The drivers have all enjoyed themselves on this circuit, the 2 or 3 days that they've been here. Visitors from Great Britain certainly noticed the similarity between Montclair and Brooklands, the old circuit down in the south of England, which was famous before the war. A bank around the back of it where cars used to hurtle round. Some of it, of course, not dissimilar to Daytona as well, over in the USA. Salonen away from the line, won't be using any of the banks. He probably wishes that he could, because he needs a pretty fast time to win. 3 minutes 51.87. Goes into the infield, off the tarmac stage, heads for the gravel. Not too wise to stand on the outside of Salonen as he takes that corner. There's a lot of gravel spitting out from the back wheels. Salonen at the wheel of the Lancia Delta for the first time in anger. Had a couple of practice runs in it. He's never actually driven it in a World Championship rally. World champion in 1985. His last win was well over a year ago, 1987 in Sweden, when he won in a Mazda 323, the team that he's currently driving with. 37 now, Salonen, but the chubby, boyish good looks, he certainly doesn't seem that old when you meet him out of Nomex and helmet. Very steadily over the jump. Car camera again. Salonen getting the car straight into the hairpin, but then having a bit of trouble making the second section. Didn't take that particularly cleanly. Maybe lost a fraction of a second again on Kankkunen. Remember that he's looking for a time of 3:51.87 to win the title. And on this second section in the Lancia Delta, he's going to pull out all the stops. Leaves and grass and stones, everything fly from behind the back of this powerful rally car. Negotiates that section with real aplomb. Maximum revs. Down through the gearbox, onto the brake, slide the car around, takes the left-hander, over the jump. Change of surface maybe just a little bit disconcerting at that stage, but as experience is Salonen, you're soon used to it. But to be able to judge what the car is actually travelling over without even paying too much attention to it. Good shot of the banked part of the circuit. Salonen hurtling around the infield inside of that. A lot of wheel spin. Really is trying hard, but he's actually going to get inside this time. 3 minutes 51.87 he needs for the title. A little bit scrappy through that stage, and the hairpins caused him a little bit of trouble both times. Really going to have to push it now if he's going to make it. 49, 50, 51, he's outside it, but not by very much. 3:51.87 was the time he was looking for. 3:53.02 was the time he returned, and that was very nearly half a second quicker than Juha Kankkunen managed in the Delta. So a title at the end of a somewhat disappointing season for Juha Kankkunen. Twice world champion. He's been in rallying now for 10 years. And he adds Champion of Champions 1988. The title winner of the Paris-Dakar, she achieved right at the start of the year. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's goodbye from us all at Montfleury.